We are in Algebra 2. Today's date is February 8th. It is a Friday. We just came back from ski PE, so write down the date, 2/8. It's okay, Fiona. Pens will drop down from the sky, maybe. Did I just call you Kaylin? I'm sorry, Fiona. Multiply, divide. So, 6-3, multiplying rational expressions. So, what is our rule for multiplying fractions? Do you guys remember when you multiply fractions? Yeah, just like straight across, right? Yeah, multiply straight across. Write down. Straight across. You don't have to do anything special. When we start adding later, it is a little bit more special. We have to have like denominators. And when we divide, do you guys remember the rule? Yeah. Write it down. Keep it, change it, flip it. Keep it, change it, flip it. Oh, got some lag there. Flip it. Cool. All right, so let's see an example. So in this one, I'm going to be multiplying. In example 2, I'm going to be dividing. So whenever I have these fractions, literally whenever I have this multiply sign, change that multiply sign and just extend this line. This is really one giant fraction where these things are being multiplied together. This is just one giant fraction. Go ahead and make it that little line right there. This is one giant fraction where I'm multiplying these through. But it's way easier, instead of actually multiplying x squared minus 49 times x squared plus 2x minus 15, factor them and then cancel out and then multiply them out. So let's go ahead and factor the left top. Can anyone factor x squared plus 2x minus 15 in their heads? -3 and +5, or -5 and +3? All right, -3 and +5. So x plus 5 and x minus 3. All right, Fiona is in. Let's go back to participation points. Going to Algebra 2. Andrea is independent study. Stego is too cool for us. And there's Fiona. Boom, 50 XP. All right, your card is in. And Chris is already in because he did the warm-up. All right, bottom, denominator for the left fraction. Denominator for the left fraction, who can factor him or her? It. Yes, you can. Teflon, how's that going to look? When I factor out an x, I get x times the quantity of x plus 5. There it is. Thank you. Teflon, you can turn in your card. I have no idea what that was. Who was that?
It sounded like Sam.
Oh, okay. Guess Sam makes farty noises.
Oh.
It's so you.
X squared minus 49. How do I factor this? X squared minus 49. She goes into Eva.
Where root both of them is x plus 7 times x minus 7.
Plus 7, x minus 7, yes. What is this called? This thing right here. It starts with a D. Diff
Difference
of
squares.
There it is, yeah.
That's
Thank you, Eva. You can turn in your card. All right. And finally, the bottom. Who can do the bottom in their heads? X squared plus 4x minus 21. Who can do this one? I'm waiting for Choir's hand, but yeah, you gave it to us. You did too fast. So it's x plus 7 and x minus 3. All right. Remember, this is really one giant fraction, so I can just connect these two lines right here. This is one giant fraction. Now it's one giant fraction because it's multiplication. I can just cross things off that look the same. So does anyone see things that we can cross off? X plus 7, x plus 7, x plus 5, x plus 5. Anything else? Oh, and x minus 3 and x minus 3. Wow, that simplified a ton. All right, so our final answer then is going to be X. Yeah, James, you can turn your card. Thanks. And that's almost it. And then we have to say for x not equal to what values? What values were in the bottom of these four things. So I'm going to have 4 zeros. This thing set equal to 0, this thing set equal to 0, this thing set equal to 0, and this thing. I guess instead of saying things, I should say linear factors. These linear factors are set equal to 0. When I do that, what can x not be? The first one, quite raised hand. Eva.
0.
0. Yes, that was the easy one. Next one. What can x not be? Gio. -5. Good job, Gio. You can turn in your card. Next one. What can x not be? James. What was it? -7. Thank you, James. And finally, x cannot be what, Chris? Careful. 3, yeah. You take the inverse of it. 3. So we just have to write these things down here. So x cannot equal 0, -5, -7, and 3. So that now is our final answer because we have to include the what x cannot be equal to.
Did you ever give me XP?
Did I not? I will assume that I forgot, and I will give you XP. You might have got a double dose. You might have not. All right. I apologize. I did not mean to forget anyone.
Did you get my next one?
Yes, I definitely did. I think so. I mean, I can always go back and check because yours just happened. No, maybe not. All right. So let's do example 2. Divide and simplify. So this is our keep it, change it, flip it rule. So let's factor and do that all in one step. We can do multiple things. I need someone to factor the top left. Top left, factor it as what? Numerator of the left fraction, Fiona?
3 times x squared.
Good. And, oh, look at that x squared minus 4. Does that make us think of anything, Fiona? X minus 2 times x plus 2. Very nice. Okay, that's how to factor that whole numerator on the top left. All right, I need someone to factor the bottom left for us. Ooh, that one's going to be a little bit harder. I don't know if we can do that in our heads. Let's go ahead and make a ninja star for that one. Advanced ninja star. All right, the hard part about advanced ninja star is setting it up. Get some review in here. Who can set this up for me? And before I move on too fast, Fiona, there's your 50 XP. Who can set up this one? Chris, go for it.
Wait, am I on it?
All right.
You 30 times -20 the top part?
Yep.
Right?
Although we're forgetting one thing before we set up the ninja star, so I guess I kind of tricked you. What thing should we do before we even set up the ninja star? So you're thinking of ninja star still, James. Eva, what are we supposed to be doing? Yeah, we're supposed to factor out that greatest common factor. We should factor out a 5 first. So we can write it in 2 steps here. I'm going to write this and then erase it, so you might want to pause on writing this. But it's going to be 5 times the quantity of what, Eva?
6.
Eva?
6x
Minus 5x. Minus 4. There it is. All right. Now that I've factored out the greatest common factor, now we can give it over to who was doing the ninja star for us? Was it Chris? Now that we have this inner part, Chris, how are we going to factor him or her? Say again?
You put that in the star now?
Yeah, now I'm going to put this thing in the ninja star.
Oh,
I'm not tricking you anymore.
I'm not gonna say.
What goes in the top, Chris? This very top spot.
I don't know.
All right, Chris, you're going to choose someone else. Raise hands for Chris to choose on. What goes on the very top of the ninja star? Ninja star. I can pronounce that word. Chris, call on someone. Her name is Teflon. No, you can say Steph. Teflon, what are we doing?
Is it -24?
It is -24. How'd you get that?
Because I multiplied -4.
-4 times 6. Okay, good. Thank you, Teflon. And what goes on the top left and top right? The same number goes on the top left and top right. What are they? X
Square? No, I just
and X like that? I don't know. I don't know.
Isn't it 6x?
Why should it be 6x, Teflon?
That's how you showed us, right?
Yeah, it's always this coefficient with this variable. 6 with that variable. So now I have that set up, and now what goes on the very bottom? Someone else. -5. Chris gets points for trying. Fiona gets points for getting it right. What did you say, James? Did you get it right?
He's trying to rip me off again.
All right. So, what are the factors of 24? Someone shout them out. They can be right?
8 and 3. -8 and 3.
Oh, you already got it. Okay. 8 and 3 multiplied 24. I have to figure out which one is negative. Make the bigger one negative since this one is negative. So, -8 and 3. We'll do this in red. -8 and 3. We're almost there. What do we need to do now with both of these fractions? Simplify. Simplify. Yeah, Gio, you want to simplify it for us? You're good? All right. Chris, go for it.
3x minus 4.
3x and -4 and
2x minus 1.
2x and yeah. 2x and just positive 1. All right, so that means that this green term is going to factor.
Do I get my point?
I'll just write it again. Yes, you do.
Do I get my points?
What do you
You're
mean?
welcome.
I raised my hand.
So we still have this 5 factored out on the bottom, right? The denominator still has that 5. This inner part, the 6x squared minus 5x minus 4, that turned into 3x minus 4, 2x plus 1. 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 1. Plus 1. This top did not change. This top was still 3 times x minus 2, x plus 2. I guess I didn't really erase it like I said I was going to. All right, but here is the trick up here. So this is the hard part to imagine. I kept it. I changed it. What am I about to do?
You're going to flip it.
I'm going to flip it. That means I'm now going to be doing this factored for the top.
Yeah.
Who wants to factor this denominator for our top fraction right here? Who can factor out the greatest common factor?
How do you factor?
James, you got it? 10x, and then what's on the inside when you factor out 10x?
4x squared.
And? -1. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, James. Ooh, what does that look like? Yeah, Eva. Difference of squares. Eva, you want to do it for us? 2x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. And I still have that 10x. That 10x did not go anywhere, so I'm going to recopy down that 10x. All right. And now, when I'm trying to find this denominator, I'll do it in red. This denominator, I'm really looking at this numerator because I flipped it. So who can factor that numerator? And don't forget to do that first step before you do the ninja star. What is that first step before the ninja star?
You factor something out?
Yeah, you factor something out. What is that thing that you factor out called? It's called the greatest. Yeah, greatest common factor. Fiona, you want to do that for us?
6.
Yep. 6 times the quantity of? Plus 4x minus 8. There it is. Oop. All right, now that we have the greatest common factor taken out, thank you, Fiona, we need to use Ninja Star on this guy. Ninja Star. All right, so I'm going to do that off to the side here. Ninja Star. I need one volunteer to set up all of the Ninja Star, all of it. Who can do that for us? Chris, go for it.
So the top is -24.
Top is -24, I agree.
The sides are 3x.
Aha, good job. 3x and 3x.
And then the bottom is 4.
Bottom is 4. Good job, Chris. Yeah. Chris set that up correctly. That was some good review. Good job, Chris. All right. And now what are those factors? What are they? What are the factors of 24? What times what is 24? Yep, 1, 24, 2, and 12. Nothing is getting there. Keep going. 4 and 6.
Have to do the science thing on that one. Was it easy?
It's just
That's it? Yeah. And none of them work. which means that we can't factor it.
Okay.
That's as far as we can go, which means Mr. Sindel obviously made a problem when setting it up, but that's okay. We'll treat it like a real problem. So leave this and just copy this down. So it's going to be 6 times 3x squared plus 4x minus 8. What's up? All right, so what things will make our denominator 0? What thing will make our denominator 0? Again, I'm looking for you, I'm looking at you, and I'm looking at you. What thing will make our denominator 0? It's a little bit harder than our last problem. Eva. Say again? 2? Which one got 2?
No, wait. Never mind.
Careful. What should it be? Add the 4 over, divide by 3? 4/3, yeah. 4/3 is one of the zeros. Good job, Evan. What's another 0? Let's come over here. Boom. What's this 0? What will make this 0?
Oh, yeah, 2.
Careful.
1/2.
Careful.
Negative 1/2.
There it is.
Did you hear that? I said that.
No,
I said that.
So Steph, Teflon gets helping. Chris gets the correct answer.
no. How come you got more than I did?
Because I corrected you. Oh my god.
That was kind of mean. All right, setting this thing equal to 0, that isn't a problem that you'll ever see on the homework, but can this thing be 0? There's a way to check it. You can check the, I forget what it's called. It's like the determinant or something. It's this b squared minus 4ac. Let me check really quick if this can be 0. I'm not going to teach you this, but I'm going to check if this thing. So if a and c are 3 and, oh shoot, this thing does have zeros, but they're weird. All right, let's kind of ignore this for now. I'm going to say that this can be 0, and it happens at 2 values, but they're weird square root values that you're not going to have to find on the actual homework. This is a bad problem that Mr. Sindel will change for next year. Sorry, guys.
Next year?
Next year. Okay, so let's just assume that those were 2 zeros, as if this one couldn't hit 0, even though it can, and start crossing things off. Does anyone see things we can cross off?
Yeah.
2x plus 1.
2x plus 1. Anything else? I see something.
I see something too. The 3x. Wait, no.
Wait, do you simplify 6 and 3
Oh.
and 10 and 5?
No.
Yeah. How do you do that? 10 and 5. This 10 turns into a
5.
2.
Negative 2.
A 2, and that 5 gets canceled out because 10 divided by 5 is 2. What about the 6 and 3?
That one turned into a 1. No, that one turned into a 3. The other one just cancels out.
Careful.
It turns into a 2 and the other one cancels out.
That turns into a 2, which means that one cancels out. And hey, 2 and 2 both cancel out. Chunk, chunk.
That's a lot of work. I don't know if I can do this.
So technically, all of the numbers canceled out, and I'm left with my final answer. Let's write it down. It was x minus 2 times x plus 2 times 2x minus 1. All of that divided by, and we have 3x, and I should probably go to the left more, 3x minus 4 times this giant polynomial here, 3x squared plus 4x minus 8. For x not equal to what? Last XP for the day. For x not equal to
0. Wait, no. The number did you put right there? The
Yeah.
4 over 3 and then the negative half.
and negative 1/2. There it is. Thank you, Chris. There is our final answer. It was a little bit gross because I made a mistake, and I apologize for that, but still a good learning experience. All right, any questions? This is exactly what you're going to be doing on the homework. You have 2 homework assignments. One of them is easy. One of them is like the notes. And that concludes, I can't speak. That concludes the lesson. Our notes, yeah. Go ahead and write your summaries now. Homework is on Khan Academy.